Hi there, welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. On this channel, we learn alcohol ink, watercolor, and other creative art projects together. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get started. Hello friends, today we're going to be painting this teeny tiny little landscape. This watercolor sketchbook that I'm using is 3.5 inches by not even, I think it's 3.25 by 3.25. I will try to link something similar in the description box because I don't recall where I got this one. It may have been Amazon, but I'm not sure. It's 100% cotton, which is really nice. And if you can't draw, feel free to pause this video anywhere you like. You can take a screenshot of the image. You can print it out, use it as a traceable, or use it for a reference when you recreate this painting. So you can see that I drew out my little landscape. I'm keeping this one really simple. I'm not going to go overboard like I usually do. And now I'm using a size 4 silver black velvet brush. I'm also using my Muño pan paints, and I am starting to paint the trees, and as usual, in my usual technique, you can see that I'm creating an outline using the tip of the brush. Then I'm cleaning the brush in some water, dabbing it on my paper towel, and then bringing that color from the edges to the center of each of those trees in the background there. And I'm using different greens for each tree. That just makes it more interesting. So while you watch me paint these little trees, I'll remind you that all the products used are listed in the description box, and if I can't find the exact item that I'm working with, I will always link something similar. And if you have any questions about any of the techniques that you see me use in this video, please let me know in the comment section. I always answer all questions and I read all your comments, and I love to interact with you. Oh, and consider joining our Facebook group, Vivo Vintage Designs, Vivo Vintage Design Tutorials, where you can post your versions of the paintings and techniques used or learned on this channel. We have a wonderful group of members that are incredibly supportive, and it's a fun way to share your version of the paintings from this channel. So I do hope that you consider subscribing. Also, if you ever have any questions or need any help, I'm very active in the group, and our members are also very helpful. So I hope that you consider joining. And now I'm not mentioning the colors that I'm using because not everyone has the same paints that I'm using. And moreover, you can use whatever colors you like. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So whatever colors appeal to you or whatever colors you have in your palette, you can use. It doesn't matter. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm using my Muño pan paints and my silver black velvet brushes. And yes, I am still painting in my kitchen. It's still very cold here in New Jersey. So now these are little shrubs, and you can see I'm using the fine point of my brush very carefully to outline each one, and then using a clean damp brush to bring that color towards the center. And I'll do the same for the ones on the bottom. Now, I've received a few comments asking me to slow down my videos because I do speed them up, and because they take a while, and I want you to be able to see everything. So if you ever find the video is too fast, you can always slow it down in your YouTube settings, or if you have any questions, just let me know. This one is sped up to, I think this painting took me about 40 minutes, but I did speed it up like 50%. So it's not that fast, but I've had comments from viewers asking me to slow down the videos and to show the entire process. So I'm trying to do that, and I hope that it makes it easier for you to see what I'm doing and to learn how to do it for yourself. So here you can see I painted the roof of the house, and I used like a burnt sienna, and I added a deep red to it to make it darker. And actually, looking at this now, watching this now, I realize that I added the shadow on the wrong side. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's still an adorable painting, and if I had not mentioned it, you may not have even noticed. But we'll go back to the roof. So here I'm starting on my first hill, and you can see that I used a heavy consistency of paint, and I added the lines, and now I'm using a clean damp brush to soften those edges on those lines and blend it in a little bit. And it's just to add some texture to the hill, and I'll use this technique a couple of times. Now for this hill, I think I made my lines a little bit too close. So when I tried to blend them, it didn't work so well. And you'll see what I mean. But I'll show you what I did to fix that. So now I'm trying to blend the edges, but you can see that it's just all blending together. So I decided to just pick up a little bit more water on my brush, blend it all together, and then what I did was I cleaned my brush and I dried it off on the paper towel, and I'm just lifting some color to create those lines. So you have to use kind of like a dry brush. Make sure you blot it off on your paper towel, and every time I lift, I clean the brush, I blot it again on the paper towel, and then I lift more paint. And that turned out really well. Sometimes you try something and it works, and other times it doesn't, but that's how you learn. So here we are back to the roof of the house, and I'm using a lighter color. And I also, at the end of the video, I added shadow to the trees and the houses, but I did it on the wrong side. So I'm making this side of the roof a little bit lighter, and the other side, as you can see, is a little bit darker. And now I'm adding a very diluted indigo. You can see it's really diluted to the part of the house that is in shadow. And I'm leaving the other side that is in light, just the white of the paper. But thinking about it now, if I had added the shadow on the other side of the trees in the house, I don't think it would have looked right. But, well, what are you going to do? It's done. And it turned out really cute. And like I said, if I had not mentioned it, you may not have noticed it. And now you can see that I'm going to add some texture to some of these hills. And unfortunately, I was out of frame here, so I do apologize for that, but it was only for a moment. And then the other hills, I'm going to just leave plain. This painting is too small for too much detail. And it's fun to work in these little sketch pads because it's really a quick painting. I did this one took me about 40 minutes because I had to wait for the paint to dry, so I kept coming back to it. And I just leave everything on the table and I go about my business, and then I just come back and I add a little bit more, then I wait for that to dry, and it's just a fun process. It's so tiny, that it goes by pretty quickly, actually. Except for the waiting time. And that was something that I really had to work on when I first started with watercolor. I had no patience. I want things now. I want instant gratification. So I really messed up a lot of paintings because I didn't wait for it to dry before I began to add another layer. And you quickly learn patience when you make that mistake too many times and ruin a painting. So again, adding a heavier consistency around the edges and then using a clean damp brush to bring that color towards the center of that area. And you can see that if I feel I have too much color, I just clean my brush and I lift some of the color away. And that's just a technique that I like to use. If you want, you can just fill that entire hill with solid color. You don't have to make it lighter in the center. It's your painting and you can paint it any way you like. I'm just hoping to inspire you. So here you can see that I have a clean damp brush. I'm cleaning the brush in my water, blotting it on my paper towel, and then lifting some of that color away. And now I picked up a heavier consistency of the same color, and using the tip of the brush, I'm adding some lines. And I really like these little paintings to be really colorful because I'm not able to add a lot of detail with the Posca pens or the Micron pens. So I make them nice and bright because that makes them more interesting. But you don't have to use bright colors. You can use more muted colors. You can try all different techniques and color variations and make it your own. If I had painted this on a larger scale, I would have created branches in all of the trees. I would have added flowers or more texture to the hills. And you can see that I'm carefully trying to go in between each one of those little shrubs using the fine point of this brush. You can also do this with the acrylic paint markers. You can do this with alcohol ink markers. It doesn't have to be watercolor. And you can see that some of the hills that I painted are more solid color where I did not lighten the center. And some have the lines in them. And that makes it interesting that they're not all the same. Okay, so now we're going to paint the sky. And for the sky, I'm using ultramarine blue. And I've diluted it really well. And for the sky, you don't have to use blue. You can use orange, yellow. You can use any combination of colors. These are fun little whimsical paintings, and you can use your imagination and just get as creative as you like. But I decided to go with blue. And then I decided that I wanted to add some clouds. So I grabbed a little piece of my dry paper towel and I scrunched it up. And I'm just lifting some of that paint off of the paper with the paper towel. And you can see that it creates these really simple little clouds. And that's all that I wanted. Now I'm going to wait for this to completely dry, and I'm going to start outlining the elements. And I'm using a micron pen with a really small nib. This is a 03. And as I mentioned earlier, I hope that these paintings inspire you, and you don't have to make them exactly like mine. You can add a fence, you can add more trees, more houses. My hope is to inspire you to give it a try, to show you how really easy this is. And then you can get as creative as you like. This style of painting is very forgiving because it's whimsical, it's folk artsy, and there is no need for perfection. So as I mentioned in many videos, it's very forgiving, and it's all those little imperfections that give it charm and make them so adorable. And if you're a beginner, this is a perfect style of painting to start with. All right, so I finished outlining everything and I've allowed the painting to completely dry. And now I'm mixing a little indigo and I'm diluting it a lot. You can see how transparent it is. And I'm just using the tip of the brush to create a little shadow. But as I mentioned, I created the shadow on the wrong side, or I painted the roof dark on the wrong side, as well as the house where I added a little bit of color. But it doesn't matter. It is still so cute. So don't be hard on yourself. If you make a mistake like I did, you'll still have a cute little painting that you can be proud of. Well, we are at the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed this and that you give it a try. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.